Good morning, my dears. I'm in Jerusalem. It's a wintry day. Look how it looks like. Where are the blue sky? I'm just next to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum, heading to Ein Karem, which is the place that we believe John the Baptist was born. But we are going to do that through the nature. And for a few moments, I will ask you to meditate and to pray and to think about what's happened to Zechariah, the future father of John the Baptist. They're heading to his wife, Elizabeth, that was quite old, and they couldn't bring children into that world. And he's going to tell her that she's already pregnant by the order of God, and her son will be not less than John the Baptist. One more thing I want you to remember: he cannot talk anymore. Gabriel punished him. Then we are leaving Jerusalem and we are going to one of the cities of Judea. Today it's part of Jerusalem, and we're going to go through that valley. As you can understand, to go all the way down, it's a little bit dangerous. Then I will do that without taking a video, because if I will fall, I don't want you to see me falling. It's very slippery now. Then 3, 2, 1, and I will be downstairs. Well, I'm here. I'm alive. Nothing happened to me. I'm so happy. It looks like Europe now. Foggy. Such a beautiful day. Then let's start a tour. Look at the view. Look at the view. I wish that I will have time to take my tourists through that beautiful path to Ein Karem. Sadly, usually we have short time. Then Ein Karem, which is for me a very important place, is even not part of the tour. But if I will do that, or if not, if you can do that, and if not, I want us to walk together. And the first part of the tour, I will talk about Zechariah and talk about what actually happened to Elizabeth and Zechariah. And then the second part of it, I will be quiet, although you know that it's difficult for me, and you will be able to pray. Now, because I'm walking and reading from time to time, it might sound difficult because it's like small letters. I'm old, just like Zechariah. Then, all right, let's try. And it's freezing. Let's organize it. I'm reading from the book of Luke. This is the only source of it, of the birth of John the Baptist. In the time of Herod, king of Judea, now we know exactly that Herod, the king, the one that we actually don't like, is with us, at least in spirit, which is not so good anyhow. There was a priest named Zechariah who belongs to the priestly division of Abijah. Abijah in Hebrew, Avia, which sounds like her father in English, but I'm not sure that it's the real translation. But if we're talking about translation, Zechariah, in Hebrew it's Zechariah, and Zechariah, it's the one that God wants him to remember. Then, in that case, Yah, name of God. Zachar, it can be two meanings: man, not female, and remember. Then Zechariah, who belongs to the priestly division of Abijah. All right. there were 24 families, priest families, who took care of the temple. They had to live very close to Jerusalem, and in a way, I just started the tour from Jerusalem, and today this is part of Jerusalem. And their mission is to take care of the temple. 2 weeks, a year. Oh, it's a little bit rainy or not, I don't know, but I don't care. I feel like first of all, I'm already iced. I'm freezing. And secondly, I'm so happy to do that for you. Almond trees. Wow, it's really raining. I don't mind. I have no other choice now. And I didn't bring my umbrella because I was sure that nothing like that will happen, but I don't care. I might be sick, but I'm still happy. All right. Then 24 priest families. We know that Zechariah was a priest, but what about Elizabeth? And if I'm talking about Elizabeth, oh, now it's really raining. And if I'm talking about Elizabeth, then you must understand that the name of Elizabeth in Hebrew is Elisheva. Elisheva. God swear. Eli, God, Sheva, it can be 7, or Nishba, swear. And then in that case, Elisheva, but it's difficult to pronounce it, then the Greek changed it to Elizabeth, and from that moment it is Elizabeth, and I will call her Elizabeth because that's the name that you know. And his wife Elizabeth was also descendant of Aaron. Aaron was the first and the most important priest. Then now we know that not only Zechariah was a priest, we know that Elizabeth was from the most important priest family. And this is a huge connection to the next priest that we will born from them, John. And more than that, when Mary will visit Elizabeth, she is from her family. It means that she is descended from Aaron family as well. She's not only just one of the priest families, she is from the most important priest family. All right, it's really raining now, then let me put my hat on my head. But I will continue because of 2 reasons. I have no other choice now. Oh, why it's raining? And now it will be even more difficult to read the Bible, mainly because my glasses is full with water. I'm still happy. I'm still happy. And what? Both of them were rightness and in the sight of God, observing all the Lord's commands and disgrace. But they were childless because Elizabeth was not able to convince, and they were both very old. Then very old, it's one thing. We are living in the 21st century. I want to say, that it's not only, you cannot blame the woman for that, the women for that. Whoa, pouring. But at that time, I think they didn't know it. Then in that case, childless, and this is the most important thing. Once when Zechariah's division was on duty and he was serving as priest before God, he was chosen by a lot. And I want you to remember that. He was chosen by a lot, according to the custom of the priesthood, to go into the temple of the Lord and burn incense. Few things. If he was chosen by the Lord, It means that it was very important. I mean, God chose him because of a reason, and I think you know exactly what the reason will be. But he wasn't a high priest, because some of the Christians believe that Zechariah was a high priest. Mainly because we do have a high priest by the name of Zechariah. And why not? Because the high priest used to burn incense once a year at the Holy of the Holy. Once a year at the Holy of the Holy. He wasn't chosen. This was his duty. The rest of the priests were chosen to do that. Then in that case, I believe that he was a very important priest. But I'm not sure that he was the high priest. But if I'm saying something that you are not accepting, I'm okay with it. Look at the olive trees. And of course, I'm the only one here. But I'm the happiest one ever. Because later on, I'm going to meet two important people. First one is Iska Harani, which is my professor for Christianity. And she will talk about John the Baptist in the birthplace of John the Baptist in the church. And then Russian priest, Pravoslav priest by the name Roman, will take us to visit the Pravoslav Russian church, which is usually close to the people. Then later on I will have another video of it, and I will try to translate the most important things that he will say. Then it's not going to be in that video, it's going to be in the next video. Then don't forget, please, to subscribe to my channel and send it to all of your friends. I want them to be part of my family. Another reason I want them to be part of my family is because we have no work. Because of the war between Hamas and Hezbollah. There are no tourists. Then I'm not working for the last 4 months, and I'm almost sure that I will work. I will. Well, I don't know when I will work again. Then in that case, you are my only family. Then you can ask me whatever you want, and I'll try to answer everything. But we are going back to the book of Luke, chapter 1. And let me see where it is. 8, we already did it. 10. Oh, 10 is another important thing. And when the time for burning the incense came, all the assembled worshippers were praying outside. All right, let's talk about that too. First of all, to burn the incense was not only because of the smell of the animals that were butchered there, not only because they wanted to flee the flies, because of the smell and the blood and the meat that was there. The incense goes straight to heaven. Then the best place to pray as a Jew until today is in Jerusalem. It goes straight to heaven, and there is a direct connection between God and Jerusalem. Then you will understand it soon, because we're gonna meet an angel. And Luke loves to talk about angels. I think angels are, you can find 28 places in the book of Luke that the angels are mentioned, more than any other gospel. Oh, it stopped raining. My son is full with water drops, but it's a holy water drops. Then let me see. Just a moment, please. I will go back to 8. Once when Zechariah's division was on duty, he was serving as priest before God. As you can see, no, it didn't say high priest, and he was chosen as priest before God. He was chosen by lot, according to the custom of the priesthood, to go into the temple of the Lord to burn incense. And when the time for burning of the incense came, all the assemblies worshippers were praying outside. This is an important thing. First of all, he was chosen. Secondly, he was waiting for the command that say, now you have to burn the incense. And the people weren't supposed to be next to him because he had to hear the shout of maybe the high priest who said, burn it now. When the high priest is burning the incense at Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, is entered to the Holy of the Holy. Regular days, it's in the altar, next to the altar. In that case, the people were outside. Another thing that you must understand, that there are so many evidence that burning the incense was one of the most important issue in Judaism. Everyone wanted to do that. Every priest wanted to do that because it's the best way to connect to God. And the people that were waiting outside and they were waiting for the priest to go out, and then they will look at his face to see if he met the presence of God or if he didn't. What do you think will happen to Zechariah? Yes, I know that you know. Well, we are building the story together. And the angel of the Lord appears to him standing at the right side of the altar of incense. Perfect divine place for that. When Zechariah saw him, I don't know about you, but if I will see an angel, I will be afraid. I saw him, he was startled, and he was gripped with fear. But the angel said to him, do not be afraid, Zechariah. Do not be afraid, Mary. Soon it will happen to Mary at Nazareth. But the angel said to him, do not be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer was being heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you are to call him John. The meaning of the word of John, and I realize that so many of you don't know it. First of all, John in Hebrew, it's Yochanan. And I think you can understand that most of the Jewish names, especially of the religious Jews, it's got a meaning. Most of them are biblical. And the meaning of it, God is gracious. Yochanan. God is gracious. This is the meaning of the word Yochanan. He will be joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth. For he will be great in the sight of the Lord. Guys, we do have a mission. Zechariah is now getting a message that his son is not going to be a regular son. First of all, it's a miracle. They were childless. They couldn't have children. Now they're going to have a child, but the child won't be a regular one. And this is really, really important. He will be great in the sight of the Lord. He is never to take wine or other drinks. In that case, it's a monk. This is the description of a monk in Judaism. Samson, same idea. I wanted to remember that we are walking together with Zechariah to his house to tell Elizabeth, although he cannot talk, and soon you will understand it, what's happening here. their life will be totally different soon. And more than that, he will be filled with the Holy Spirit even before he's born. The minute she will be pregnant, the Holy Spirit will be with him. You can imagine what will happen to Elizabeth when she will feel everything that will happen to John, and she might get some messages for John. And remember what's happened when Mary met Elizabeth at Ein Karem, the place that we are heading now. He will bring back many of the people of Israel to their Lord, their God. He's got a mission, but it's a temporary mission, not like Jesus. His mission is to take all the Jews and to prepare him for the future coming of Jesus. Jesus is not yet was born. I mean, Mary soon, in about 6 months from now, will get the message. But now, Zechariah is the first one who knows that John's got a very important place, but it's still a temporary thing. And he will go on before the Lord in the spirit and the power of Elijah. Elijah? What's happening here? Now, as the Jews believe, Elijah is just like John the Baptist, temporary mission to do the same thing that John did. And they know that before the Messiah will come, Elijah might come again. For so many of us believes that Elijah himself is John the Baptist. This is the second come of Elijah. Amazing, isn't it? Then in the spirit of the power of Elijah, to turn the heart of the parents to their children and to their... Wait a minute, I have to switch a page which are sadly wet. To make ready a people prepared for the Lord. Zechariah asked the angels, how can I be sure of this? I am an old man and my wife is well along in years. The angels say to him, I am Gabriel. This is the first time that we know that Gabriel is the one. Gabriel is one of the few angels that had a very important mission, and he was above all the angels. And now I'm always thinking about Betty. We love Gabriel, Betty. Remember? And Michael as well. We love those angels. But I'm sure you love him too. And it's not only that the Jews and the Christians love Gabriel. The Muslims see him as one of the most important figures ever. They call him Gabriel. Then if you do have a Muslim friend by the name Gabriel, you know exactly the meaning of it. Now, it started to rain again, but I'm not afraid. I'm with him. I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to tell you this good news. And now you will be silent and not able, to speak until the day this happens. Then for now 9 months, Zechariah won't be able to talk. That's why I will ask you to meditate about Zechariah and what's happened to Zechariah and his heart when he is now walking to his wife. Usually to burn incense at the temple, it was at nighttime. Then it's now early morning, not now, and he is on the way to his to one of the villages at Judea, which is on the way. And It's already 24 minutes. It will take us another 10 minutes to reach. I'm doing it slowly because I love the nature. I don't like the rain now, I'm freezing. But I love. Before I will continue, because I'm not working, I will ask you first again to subscribe to my channel, to send it to all your friends. If you can, and you want to support my channel, if you want me to continue doing it, because I have no more income, then you can do that. At the description, the text, you will find 2 links of Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. You can do that through there. At the bottom here, just next to the like, you will see a shape of a heart. It's called Super Thanks, and you can actually support that channel again. But the most important thing is to be part of my family. The next sentence, I think now when you will read it, you will understand and say, I know what Zahi actually told us, and now we can understand it. Meanwhile, the people were waiting for Zechariah and wondering why he stayed so long in the temple. When he came out, he couldn't speak to them. They realized he had seen a vision in the temple. Now we know it. For he kept making sign to them, but remained unable to speak. Now, this is walking to the to his house, and let me remind you that later on, Elizabeth, his wife. First of all, when his time of service was completed, he returned home. After his wife Elizabeth became pregnant, and for 5 months remained in seclusion. I mean, I can understand that. The Lord has done this for me, she said. In these days he was shown his favor and taken away my disgrace among the people. To be a woman that unable to bring children, it's a little bit difficult in Judaism. In Judaism, this is one of the missions of families, to have children. That's why in the Orthodox families, you can find at least 10 children. It's part of the mission. And the end of the story will be about the circumcision, but before that, Mary will meet Elizabeth, and she will be part of the birth of John. She will be there for 3 months, and the people actually asked, not asked, the people knew that the name of John will be Zechariah Jr. Oh wow, it's raining, it's pouring again. It will be Zechariah. But remember, the mission was to name him John. And because he couldn't speak, he wrote on a chalk the name Yochanan, John, and Elizabeth told everyone that we are talking about John. People actually looked at her and say, then who is the father? Can you imagine that as well? This is one of the things that the Zechariah thought about. It won't be Zechariah Jr. Oh, something is fishy here. People will say, will ask themselves. But this is the mission. Wait a minute, I need to clean the lens. I hope that it won't destroy the video. Alright, I actually cleaned it, dried it with my wet clothes. Very smart of me. Then from right now, I will try to be as quiet as I can. And this is your chance to help Zechariah, to be with him. Because he is afraid, he is alone, he's got a mission, he's old, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how Elizabeth will accept it. And what about the people around? And from right now until we will reach Ein Karem, until we will reach the church, I think the church will be closed now because it's early morning, I will try to be quiet. Oh, I can see some people here. We are not alone anymore. Done. 3, 2, 1. I'm just like Zechariah. Silence.
Neighborhood. It's called Ein Karem.
Okay. Cool, thank you.
יש לנו שאלה, איך החנית את זה ככה? לשם. זה הכי יקר שהיה אפשר.
And then he spoke. And then Benedictus. The prayer is wonderful. Then open chapter Luke 1 from 68 to 79. Push the bottom pause. And then, or until then, I will tell you that in Hebrew, because I want to read it for you in Hebrew, it's from right to left. And it sounds like Aramaic because it's almost the same language, at least at the time of Jesus. Then, yes, Jesus spoke Aramaic and Hebrew as well, and I'm sure that in you kind of basically Greek. Then, are you ready with your text in English or in any other language? ברוך אדוני אלוהי ישראל, אשר פקד את עמו ופדות שלח לו, והצמיח לנו קרן ישועה בבית דוד עבדו, כדבר אדוני מעולם ביד נביאיו הקדושים, להושיענו מיד אויב ומיד כל שונא, לעשות חסד עם אבותינו, ולזכור לעולם בריתו, אשר נשבע לאברהם אבינו, להצילנו מיד אויב, לתיתו להבדו באין מורא, בקדושה ובצדק, לפניו כל ימינו. ולך, הילד, נביא אל עליון יקרא, כי לפניו תלך לפנות דרך אדוני, להודיע ישועת אדוני לעמו, כי יסלח לחטאים. קרוב רחמיו הימנו, ודרך כוכב משמיים, פקוד יפקדנו, להאיר ליושבי חושך וצל מוות, ולשים פעמנו לדרך שלום. I'm sure that the only thing that you can understand that they put it here in 1992, and it's Lucas in Hebrew, Aleph, the first letter in Hebrew, 79 to 68. Before we will say goodbye, I will enter the church just to show you the birthplace of John, and they in a way it's still under renovation. Then I'm not sure that I will be able to do that. They're doing it slowly. It's a beautiful church, Catholic church. Above, so many mikveh. There's a mikveh here. An ancient mosaic floor, and even a Roman temple, pagan temple part. You can see here the mosaic floor from the 5th century. We try to see. It's dedicated to the martyrs, but it didn't say why and how. Only at the 10th century, they started to talk about the church as the birthplace of, and the house, and birthplace of John the Baptist, and the house of Zechariah and Elizabeth. According to the Catholic, they had two houses. We are talking about rich family, it's a priest family. And this is one of them. Let me remind you that kind of the story of John the Baptist was kind of a secret. Only when he was 30, he started to do his mission. This is the place that we believe that John the Baptist was born soon. In about 5 minutes, I will take another video without saying nothing, then you will be able to talk and touch and to be as close as you can to John the Baptist. For example, you can see John the Baptist here, baptized Jesus. And the birthplace, the birth of John the Baptist. Mary is holding the child of John. You can see Yohanan. He's holding something because he had to write it. Beautiful, isn't it? the birth of John the Baptist. I can see that it looks like a rich house. Mary is next to the mother, and there's a servant. Then thank you very much for being with me. Let me touch it for you. And now you will have 5 minutes for praying next to the birthplace of John the Baptist. Thank you very much for being with me.